When you're new to photo editing, it's overwhelming. Am I right? So you open Lightroom or whatever you're using, and suddenly you're staring at dozens of sliders and panels and adjustment tools. Oh my, and it hits you like a deer in headlights. And you're like, where do I start? So maybe you touch the vibrance and saturation, maybe you play with the tone curve, you keep going down and you play with other tools, and you've already ruined your image. You've already destroyed it because there's a specific order to editing your photos, and most beginners get it completely backwards. So I've edited over 1 million photos at least in the last 30 years, and thousands of portrait sessions, over 500 weddings, and more landscape and wildlife images than I can count. And every single one of those photos, every single edit starts in the exact same place. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where that is. Then I'm going to edit this photo in under 30 seconds to prove how easy it can be when you start in the right place. So does this sound familiar? You create a photo, import it into your favorite editing software, and immediately start adjusting everything. Maybe, like I said, you start up here with a couple sliders, you scroll down, you hit the tone curve, maybe you do some stuff in the color mixer, and you just start experimenting with all of these different editing tools randomly, hoping something looks good. But after 20 minutes of fiddling around, your image either looks worse than when you started or just slightly different, but not actually better. And I know this because I get emails about this all the time. And I remember doing the exact same thing when I started using Photoshop. I think it was back in 1991, and even more so when Lightroom Beta came out, I think in 2006. Now, the problem isn't having enough editing tools. The problem is you have too many staring back at you and you don't know where to start. Am I right? Because there's a foundational step that every pro photographer and editor does first before touching any other adjustments. And once you understand this step, editing becomes faster, easier, and way more predictable. So let's start with what actually makes a photo look good or bad in the first place. So every image is made up of pixels, and those pixels have brightness levels from pure black to pure white with everything in between. These brightness levels are called tonal values, and you can see a visual representation of these values in something called the histogram, which is right here. Now, I have a complete masterclass on the histogram, but you don't need a PhD to use it. You only need to know the 5 zones of your histogram, which are the blacks over here on the left side, followed by the shadows, the midtones, the highlights, and then the whites. Now, the blacks are the darkest points in your image. Shadows are slightly brighter, midtones are in the middle, highlights are brighter still, and then the whites are the brightest points. Now, every editing software from Lightroom, Capture One, DxO Photolab, whatever you're using, they all give you some sliders for these particular zones. And you can see right here in Lightroom, you have your exposure, you have your midtones, your highlights, your shadows, whites, and the black sliders. So all of those are going to adjust those different tonal values. Now, here's the key. Before you touch anything else, you need to get these tonal values done first. Because if your blacks are too black or too dark and your highlights and your whites are blown out, no amount of color adjustment or sharpening or fancy effects is going to save your image. So think of it this way. If you're building a house, you don't start by picking paint colors and hanging curtains. You start with the foundation. You make sure the structure is solid first. So your tonal values are your foundation. Get this right, and everything else becomes easier. Get it wrong, and you're just decorating a house in shambles. Now, here's a secret that a lot of photographers don't want to admit. Most editing software has an auto button, and it's actually a great place to start, and that is the key to the auto button. It's a starting point, not the end of your edit, and here's why. So these auto adjustments use AI technology, and the software will analyze your image, or the AI will analyze your image and compare it to thousands of similar ones and makes an intelligent adjustment, to those tonal sliders here magically, okay? So you can use auto to see what is mathematically correct in terms of what the exposure looks like, and it can train your eye to see what neutral looks like, so you can then break those rules or that mathematical correction intentionally, because you are the creator, and the auto button is a machine, and it's not going to know your creative vision, but it could get you halfway there. And then from there, you tweak those auto edits on how you saw the scene, or based on the creative direction you want to take your image. So let me show you exactly how this works. So let's edit this image in under 30 seconds. I'm gonna hit the auto button, and then I'm going to begin making some adjustments. So I always find that Lightroom automatically adjusts the contrast between +5 and +7. I don't like that for my creative vision, so I'm going to reset that. I think everything else looks pretty good. I think maybe the blacks should be a little darker. I'm going to turn on my masking tools here, or my clipping icons here, to ensure that I'm not over editing, because if I go too far, I will then see these blue and red overlays here, and then that tells me that I'm over editing my image. So I'm going to reset these and adjust them until I see that red overlay, and then I'll pull back, maybe more on the whites, and then the blacks all the way to the left. I'm starting to see that overlay, so I'm going to pull back on that. Okay, saturation, I'm going to bring that back up. I like a little saturation in my landscape images, especially images like this. I'm going to add a little clarity, dehaze, and boom, I'm done. Now you might be looking at all of these other sliders down here and wondering and thinking, what about the tone curve? What about the color mixer? What about all of these other tools? Well, here's the thing. I've already fulfilled my creative vision based on what I saw when I captured this particular landscape. This is exactly how it looked, and I don't need to add anything else, or it's going to look unnatural. Now, confession time. Not every image is going to be this easy to edit. Some images require more advanced edits and techniques. For example, this waterfall image required a lot more work. So you're going to see I adjusted my tone curve, I made adjustments in the color mixer, and I added a vignette, plus I added some individual masks to target specific points of the image to make adjustments locally in those specific areas versus globally in the entire image. So it's a whole different level of editing. But here's what's important. I still started with the tonal range or the tonal values of my image, and I got this foundation right before I added any of these advanced editing techniques. And that's the workflow that makes editing easier, since it gets you started in the right direction. For more photo editing tips, check out this playlist next, and thanks for watching, and have an awesome day.